Hi everyone. 4 steps to getting a good night's sleep, lose the weight you want, laser focus, and be powerful. Tammy Ready, your success power coach. And what you're going to learn in this video is the 3 R's. And they are recognize, release, and return. If you've ever been in any of my yoga classes, I teach this often. This is a really powerful technique. Particularly when you're in a meeting or when you're going throughout your day and you're trying to focus on a project or something of that nature. And I'm going to give you some more instruction behind that and how it can help you and what it's all about. Because when you understand how and why these techniques work, because there is physiology behind them, it's going to give you more confidence in using them. Because you're going to realize this is a science. Okay, this isn't just hocus pocus. This is a science. And the 6 steps to fearless change. Learning to manage your monkey mind and be in control of your inner game is step number 1. And this is what I'm teaching you in this video series. In step number 2 in 6 steps to fearless change, we really focus on who you are as a person and what you're all about. I work with a lot of clients who are going through some big changes because they're at that time in their life. And sometimes, I'll ask them, not sometimes, a lot of the time, who are you? And they just look at me with this blank stare because they really don't know who they are. They say, I'm a mom, or I'm an executive or whatever. But they've forgotten and lost touch with that little boy dream or that little girl dream. And so we dig deeper and get real clear on who they are, because as you're making decisions for the next half of your life, you want to be authentic and you want to give your best self from your heart and from your soul, and take all your wins and your losses and melt them together to construct and create the next part of your life. Let that creative fire bubble up inside of you, the one that you've been drowning out with the wine or the beer or the chocolate or shopping or food. And do something that speaks to who you are. That thing that people say, wow, you're really good at that. You should da-da-da-da-da-da-da. As I was reinventing myself, I had that opportunity to get real clear on who I was, and I was really kind of surprised what came out of that. As I'm working with my clients, I have one in particular that I'm thinking of right now, and she has a really good mucky-muck job, and makes well into 6 figures. But it does not speak to her heart. And so what she's decided to do, and this was a big step. I mean, when you're making $350K better, you decide to back up and write the book that you've always wanted to write and feel confident about it. That's pretty huge. And she, through working with her and working together and doing some of the processes that we do, she was able to get clear on that's what she really wanted to do. And she started losing weight, and she's so much healthier. It was absolutely amazing, the transformation. Because, when we get to this stage in our life, we've raised our kids, we've had our career, we've had made mistakes, we've had some wins. And now it's about doing something for ourselves, maybe getting a little bit selfish about, making choices based on what we really want. And, maybe I have another client who has retired, and she went back to school, and she was an educator. So she still very much was about helping other people. But now she wanted to really focus on the issues in hand in our society with children with diabetes. So she went back to school after retiring over 60 and got educated so she could play this bigger game and help out. And this is what I help my clients do when they're making this fearless change. But as I said, the first thing they had to learn, which we're learning in this video series, is how to control the monkey mind. So in the 3 R's, what we're going to do is we're going to notice that when a thought comes up for you, it's one of 2 things is happening. It might be a distraction that you really don't need to pay much attention to, or it may be something that really does want your attention. So first thing we have to do is recognize the thought. And you know what I'm talking about, There's something that keeps knocking at your door, and you may have loose sleep over it, and it really wants your attention. So when we recognize the thought, we actually have a conversation and say, hey, how's it going? What's up? Maybe write it down, the actual thought. If it's really pounding on your emotional door, write it down. Get it from the inside out. That's recognizing it, okay? Then release it. Put it aside because you need to focus on what you're doing for the moment. and let it know that you will be back later. This is energy. Energy begets energy. Doesn't matter if it's positive energy or if it's negative energy. Have you ever heard that expression, you can't get enough of what you don't want? For instance, if you want to go on a diet and all you're doing is thinking about food, well, all you do is eat, right? So there's something a little bit deeper than that. So let's review the 3 R's. You're going to recognize your thought, and that might be just a simple little, oh, I just got distracted by a car driving by thing, and you can let it go, release it, and then return. Or it might be something bigger, and you need to actually write it down, okay? Or you need to speak it out loud and recognize it. Then, if you can, release it and let it know that you're going to go back to it later. It sounds a little funky, but this works. Once again, it's physiology. So recognizing the thought, particularly writing it down, gets it from the inside out, and it's palatable. You can work with it there. And instead of keeping it inside and then just letting things pile up and pile up and pile up. This works great. You can do this when you're trying to get a good night's sleep. Same thing. If it's something that keeps bothering you, then get up and write it down on a little Post-it note or something next to you. Then release it and then go back to it. Or maybe do a little journaling about it, okay? It's just trying to get your attention. And what we don't give our attention will die unless it's something that we really need to address and then work it out and move on. This is another little technique, and you can use this technique in the combination with the breathing technique. These things work, and they're profound. They're simple and profound. I have taught these little techniques to many, many of my clients, and they don't use them all. They'll pick one that resonates more with their personality, and they usually find 1 or 2 that are a favorite and use that more often. And the 6 steps to fearless change. After we've learned to master the monkey mind and we really find out who we are, then we get to go deeper. And what is that gift? You know, what is that burning desire? What is it? It's so exciting and profound, and I'm so excited to share with you what I can and what you're interested in learning. We have our next video training coming up, and what you're going to learn in that one is actually a physical exercise that we do that's really simple and really brings you into your center and into your body. It takes about 35 seconds. So I use this one a lot with my family. I'm Italian, so it gets crazy up in here. So sometimes I have to go, I'm going to go use the restroom. I go do my exercise, get myself glued back together, and then I come back out and I'm like, hey, how's it going? You know, because, well, I don't know, Jewish, Italian, whatever, you get it. But these work, and I'm excited to share them with you. I also want to know how you're doing with this series and what's working for you and what isn't working for you. I cannot give my best gifts if I don't know what you need and or want. So please email me at tsmoretti@gmail.com and let me know how it's going, because I've built a really successful, profitable business in using these techniques. And the only way that I was able to do it is by controlling what went on in my mind and how I talked to myself, so that I could, you know, take some chances. And there really weren't big chances, but they seemed like they were big chances, you know. And I was able to travel, go to Italy twice in 1 year, and Costa Rica and Cancun, Hawaii, because I was in my flow. I was doing what spoke to my heart and my soul, and I learned how to play an inner game really well. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Watch your inbox. I'll be there in a couple of days, about 2, and we'll get started. Actually, this was technique number 3, and I will teach you technique number 2, and then number 1's on its way, and it's my very, very favorite. I'm super excited, and thank you so much for checking in. I'll see you on the other side.